Welcome to Retro Scale Modelling. My next build is the diorama for the Battle of Kursk. As you can see here with the top photo, this is some of the kits I'm going to be using. Now, to jump straight into the build, I've got a couple of pictures to show you first. The base is a simple base with a frame around it, and this is just a piece of strip wood. This is actually a bit of a skirting board wood, so it's slightly tapered at the top, and I'm just cutting that to length. I've done it outside, hence I haven't got my video camera set up. So what I've got here, just pan the camera, is a piece of foam board. So I'll just put it on the side there, maybe you'll see. And it's 5mm thick, and this is 17.5 by 17.5 inches, so it's a rough square, and this is what I'm going to be using for the base of my diorama. So here are the tanks, so I'll just throw these tanks on here, show you how much room I'm working with. Sorry, I get some popping off on that one. So this is the basic shape I'll probably be doing anyway. I'll have that coming along at the side here, and that coming down like that, and have foxholes and whatever in between. So this will be big enough. I thought it might have been a little bit bigger, over a metre, but I think this will be big enough for the Battle of Kursk. I mean, obviously I can do it a lot larger, but I've been building more tanks and things like that. So I'll go away and get this primed before I start working on the base. So I put up a length of wood, like so, and to make the framework to go on the base, so I'll just zoom it down. There you go. I haven't got a lot of room here. I've had to push all the paints and everything back, so my bench is a real mess at the moment. But that's going to make the framework of the build. So now I've just got to attach the frame to the backing board. What I'm doing here is putting a bit of super glue right down the edge of the wood. Now obviously you can use different glues. I've decided to use super glue because it's quicker to bond. However, if you're going to do it, you can use wood glue as well. That's probably more recommended, but the drying time is hours instead of seconds, so hence why I'm using the super glue. Plus the fact I'm not doing a proper joint on this either, so the super glue will work better. Now unfortunately I have to do the next part off camera because I need to join this up, and what I've done is just attach the leading edge to the actual wood. Only needs a minute or so to hold to get it in place because of the super glue, and I shall carry on doing it on all four sides. So I'll just switch over, and as you can see there, that's all four sides now joined. There's a little bit of tidying up of the wood to be done, as you can see on the corners there. So I've got a bit of paper here, just a normal bit of paper, and I'm using this to mask off the wood. So just a bit of masking tape here. And all I'm doing is placing it in slightly above the level. And the reason for doing this is to protect the wood, I should have said at the beginning there. I'm going to carry on doing it all the way around. I'll just move my camera a bit now to show. And what I'm doing now is just folding the paper over and again securing it with a bit of masking tape, and I'll be doing the same on the outer side, putting a bit of paper over just to help stop the wood from getting marked. Of course you can use all masking tape if you wish, but you would use a lot, so I would recommend a bit of paper, newspaper, whatever you've got in hand, just to mask it off. Enough of the diorama to actually take shape. What I've got here is some normal air drying clay, and I'm just rolling it into a ball, and I want to be making some foxhole type thing. So after rolled in a ball, I'm just pressing it down with my thumb, so it's got like a blast point in the center and coming out. Then gently just teasing that out to the shape that I like, and then I'll score around the ball of clay or the foxhole, and just to make a sort of blast points. So imagine debris coming out from the center point of a shell landing, and then I'll just place it randomly. I'm going to be making about 3 of these to go on it. I don't want too many, but this all helps with the definition of the ground as you're building up the diorama. And once I'm happy, we are using a little bit of PVA glue just to secure it onto the board. But with this one, I haven't put in the scribe lines yet, so I'm just doing that now. And once that's done, I will then fill in the rest of the board using clay. And how I go about this is, I'll just jump to it's more or less done. So how I go about this is, I just take a lump of clay and tease it out to a rough sort of area. Doesn't really matter what. The thickness is key, obviously, because you don't want it to be too thick or it'll take ages to dry. And then I'll just lay it down, button up against the foxholes as well, before blending it in. Using PVA glue as I go along, this helps blend it in a wee bit better, and also will secure it to the base. So as you can see there, it's just teasing out and securing to the base. This is so that the ground is not just one flat surface. It's got all its contours, bumps and dips and whatnot that you would find in a field, for instance. So the whole base will be covered in the clay like this. And once it's done, I'll leave it to dry for about a couple of days until it's all 100% dry before I go on to the next step. So the clay's all dry, and what I've got here is brown paint that I've mixed up. And I've mixed it up with yellow, red and blue. These are all acrylic paints you can pick up from any art store or online. And I just mix it all together. I'm not exactly bothered about the correct tone of brown. In fact, I want different tones as I'm laying this on. And as you can see, I'm just stabbing the paint on to create texture throughout, well, on the actual clay. So you've got the clay texture as well as the paint texture working in conjunction, so it looks more like a piece of earth. So I'm going to be carrying all through the diorama this colour. When I get around to the foxholes, I'm putting in a lighter shade of brown for this, just so that they don't get completely lost in the actual brown. Remember, I'll be putting a little bit of more foliage on the base as well. This is just the base colours I'm placing in at the moment. Well, that's it for this part of the build, for the first part. This will take a little bit of time to dry. So the next part I'll be dealing with the figures that are going to go onto the diorama. I'm also going to be putting the tanks and that so on, hopefully on the next part. We'll see if time allows. If you haven't done so already, check out the build for these tanks that I did. They'll be in the 172, my apologies, series. So I'm putting on a Panzer II King Tigers, a T-34 and an IS-2 heavy tank, a Russian heavy tank. So all those builds are now available on the channel for you to look at, and those are the tanks I'll be using in this. So if you subscribe to the channel as well, you'll get all the updates for this diorama and of course any future builds as well. Hit that like button and of course leave a comment. But for now, thank you all very much for watching. Bye bye.